Welcome to the second part of my video series on how to lose weight. In the first part we talked about what BMR and TDEE actually are. And in this video we are going to use them to lose weight. First of all, we have to find out what your BMR and TDEE actually are. This is done by a formula, but you can also search the internet for a BMR calculation and you'll find various websites that will help you there and calculate your BMR automatically. But for those of you who want to do it themselves, here is the formula. So now that you have your BMR, you can go and calculate your TDEE, which is calculated by using the BMR in an equation called the Harris-Benedict equation. And this takes the BMR and multiplies it, while the multiplier depends on how active you are. If you are rather sedentary, your multiplier will be very low, like 1.2, while if you have a very physically demanding job, the multiplier will be as high as 1.9. From my experience, the multiplier that applies to most people lies between 1.45 to 1.55. So if, for example, your BMR is 1900, you may multiply with 1.45 or 1.55. Now that you know your TDEE, you can use it to lose weight by staying below it. And how do you stay below it? By finding out how many calories you are putting into your body per day. If you usually eat ready-made meals, this seems easy enough, but there are still some things you have to look out for. For example, I have a bag of Scampis here, which contains 300 grams, and it says the serving size is 150 grams. So if you eat the entire bag, you eat 2 servings and therefore have to take double the calories of the serving size here given. It becomes even more difficult when a serving size is given as a scoop. Some boxes say serving size 1 scoop and so many grams, but some people simply don't look at the number that is stated there in grams and take 1 serving size as 1 scoop. But how much is a scoop then? Some people kid themselves into thinking that this here is 1 scoop, while in reality what was meant as a scoop was this, which is about 25 to 30% less of what was in the scoop when it was heaped. So while you think you are eating so many calories from this scoop, you actually are eating a third more than you thought. One very practical tool to find out if you are correct is this, a simple kitchen scale. So if we now look at how much this scoop now contains, it says 120 grams, and when we now add what was in the scoop while it was heaped, we get to 150, which is quite a bit more. Of course, there are still those among us who fix their foods themselves from ingredients they buy, or they still live with their parents and get their food made for them, and don't have a box that says serving size is this and this, and it contains so many calories, and you have no idea what you should do then. And that's quite easy too. And here's where our trusty kitchen scale comes into play again. If, for example, your mom fixes her famous chili, you get mom to weigh the individual ingredients she uses. And you'll find out that her chili contains 500 grams of minced meat and 600 grams of beans and whatever else she puts in there. And then mom goes and puts it all into the pan and steers it, and you help yourself from that pan. And then you have a sharp look at that pan and judge how much of what was in that pan you put onto your plate. Was it a fourth, a fifth, or were you extra greedy and put a third on it? Whatever. You look at the pan and try to find out how much of what was in that pan you put onto your plate. So if, for example, you put a fourth of what was in the pan onto your plate, you take the numbers of the ingredients that you wrote down and divide them by 4. And then you know how much of each ingredient you actually ate. So now let's talk about what you should eat. The first thing I'd really like to mention here is that, as we kind of already said before, as long as you stay below your TDEE, it doesn't matter what you eat, you will lose weight. So if you decide to have a diet that only consists of candy bars like this one here, or a diet that only consists of lettuce, as long as you stay below the TDEE with both, you will lose weight. Of course, only eating candy bars like this one here is not very healthy. And also, the 50 grams that this candy bar here has contain 250 calories, while 50 grams of lettuce only contain 10 calories. However, if you now decide to only eat lettuce for the next 3 months to lose weight, you might find out after a couple of days or even weeks that you can't see lettuce anymore or think about eating it without feeling very, very sick. So what to do? It is very important that your diet contains all the nutrients that your body needs, and that's when we talk about a well-balanced diet. So what you might want to do here, if you don't have any nutrient deficiencies, then the diet you ate up to this point contains all the nutrients your body needs. And to lose weight, what you have to do is just eat less of what you already ate. If the thought of eating less doesn't quite appeal to you, then what you can do is have the occasional candy bar like this one here, but also incorporate some low-calorie stuff like lettuce from time to time, or switch up some foods with their low-calorie variants. For example, a regular soda pop with sugar-free soda pop. If you're one of those that wants to lose weight and build muscle, I recommend following Scooby's losing weight and bulking up plan, to whom you'll also find a link in the description of this video.